What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! OCG TCG video. Today, guys, we are going to be doing one last discussion video in regards to the upcoming Duelist pack, Duelist of Whirlwind, or known as the TCG Legendary Duelist set, Synchro Storm. I will be basically in this video going over the last 3 cards that got announced for this set: Speedroid Roulette, Lyra Bird Call, and Revered Banner of the Revolution. I will be going over those cards and just giving my quick thoughts on those. Then go over the set in general, just go over all the cards. I won't read the effects or anything. I'll just read off quickly what the cards are going to be in this set and just give a final thought on this set. I was originally going to start kind of doing this when Ancient Guardians did it, since I did 3 videos in regards to like the main sets of the cards, but I never got the opportunity to be able to do it, so I'm going to do it with this set. So I am very excited to get into this discussion. This will be the last time I will discuss this set, so this is just my opportunity to just give an overall thought on this set. So I'm very excited to get into this. I hope you guys are excited as well. And without further ado, guys, let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Alright, guys, so we're going to be going over these cards. There are 3 cards that we're going to be going over, one for each of the legacy characters that got support in this set. So we have Yugioh, Sherry, and Enruri get 1 card each. So we'll go over Yugioh's card first. His card that he got was a quick play spell, Speedroid Roulette, which we'll start off by seeing this. Really glad this is a Speedroid spell card, which means that if you have Cork Blaster on the field, you can technically search this card. So that's actually pretty cool. But let's see its effect. Its effect is you can only activate 1 card with this card's name return. Discard 1 card, roll a 6-sided die. Oh, we're going with the dice again. And special summon up to 2 Speedroid monsters from your hand and or deck whose total levels exactly equal the result, but their effects are negated. If you cannot, you lose life points equal to the result times 500, which, since the fact that it doesn't lock you out of doing link plays, I don't think you have to worry about it. It does suck. That means, like, if you can't really do anything, maybe you don't have a link monster you can go into and you can't do anything, you have to take damage. I think that's kind of stupid, but that's what they decided to do on that. It's another die card for this deck. We had that with Crystal Clearing Rider, where he had a die roll effect, and now we got it with this one. What's cool about this is that you can basically get 2 Speedroids from your deck that equal the levels, so maybe you can go some plays there. Like I said, you can go into link plays, whether, since you're playing a Synchro deck with Speedroids, if you want to go down this route, you can get a Cryshawn Alki 5 Rex onto the field, or if you want to just play a pure Speedroid deck, hey, there is a high Speedroid link monster, so you can summon that if you can't go into synchro plays that you kind of need to do or want to go into. So basically, depending on the die, you can go into any synchro you want. If you get a 4, you can go into a synchro 4, which for the archetype itself is puzzle. You can summon puzzle. And then you can do it for basically any other thing, like 3, you can go into Cork Blaster, and then so on and so forth. So you do have options. It does suck if you do roll a 1, though. That means the only thing you're going to really have to be able to summon is a level 1 Speedroid monster, which I guess you can summon like Speedroid Red Eye Dice. You can summon one of those cards, or any other Speedroid that's a level 1. You can search off of that and summon it onto the field, though I do think Red Eye Dice is probably the better one out of the bunch, so there you go. And plus, it's a tuner, so if you having the problems of getting a tuner for some reason, there you go. That's a free way to get a tuner onto the field. And plus, depending if you get higher dice rolls, you can get a tuner and a non-tuner, and then again go into synchro plays or go into Cryshawn Alki 5 Rex. So you do have options what you can do in this, and like I mentioned earlier, it is searchable with Cork Blaster. So overall, I don't think it's a bad card. I just don't really care for die roll cards. I just don't. But I don't think it's that bad if you don't roll a 1. If you roll a 1, you kind of are a little bit screwed. But you know what? If you do and you have to summon a level 1, you can go into a Link Karibo or something like that. So you have options to do. So overall, I don't think it's that bad of a card. I just wish it was more of a card that is guaranteed to get something, though. I am assuming they did this because if you can just search any 2 Speedroid monsters you want from your deck, not depending on what you roll in the dice, I'm pretty sure that would be a little bit too broken just because of the fact you can just search anything and go into anything you want to. So I guess they made it to more of a chance, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, oh well, too bad. So overall, don't think it's really that bad of a card, in my opinion. But that's going to be it for the new Speedroid card. Let's go over Rory's Lyra card. And that is the normal spell card, Lyra Bird Call. Its effect is you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. First effect, add to your hand or send to the graveyard one Lyra monster from your deck. Then you can special summon one Lyra monster with a different name from your hand. That's actually a pretty solid effect. So you can either add to your hand or send to your graveyard one Lyra monster from your deck. So say you're doing the graveyard, send Celeste Wagtail to your graveyard. Then when you go into one of your Xyz plays, you are able to add an extra material to it. Or if you want to get to your hand, I guess Barrel Canary, you can get that card to your hand, special summon one of your Lyra monsters, which, by the way, the fact that you can get one card for either one of the plays where it's to get in your hand, like something like a Sapphire Swallow or a Turquoise Warbler, or like I said, Celeste Wagtail to your graveyard if you want to do with the graveyard strategy. The fact that you have options of what you can set up, I really do like that. Plus, you get the special summon a free Lyra to your field, so that's actually pretty strong. I think that's actually a really solid effect, and it has no restriction. It's not like saying like, but you cannot do any Xyz plays or something like that. So I really do think this is actually a very solid card. Not only can you set up potentially with getting a card to your hand or graveyard depending on what you want to do, but you get a free special summon with that as well. Sure, it has to be a different name, but the fact that the Lyra monsters can just swarm themselves in general, I actually think that's a really, really good effect. I actually think this card is really solid. And now we come to the final card, Sherry's new card, in the form of the Continuous Trap, Revered Banner of the Revolution. Its effect is you can only use each effect among the first, second, and third effect with this card's name only once per turn. That was worded really weird, but okay. Its first effect. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add one Liberty at Last from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember that card at all, so I'm going to quickly look up that effect. So, hold on a quick second. Okay, so I do have the card pulled up. I'm going to read its effect real quick. When a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target 2 face-up monsters on the field. Shuffle those targets into the deck. Oh, God. Okay. That's a pretty situational card right there. I don't like that effect. The problem that I have with it is that your opponent is going to know that you're going to add it. Now, they don't know when you're going to set it because you add it to your hand, so you can maybe set down a bluff card. They might think it's Liberty at Last, and maybe they'll try to play around it, so maybe you can kind of fool them with that, but like, the card itself, it's situational. You have to rely on your opponent having 2 face-up monsters. It doesn't say target up to 2, so you can't just pop one card. 2 face-up monsters on the field have to be on the field. So, well, to be fair, it can be from both of your side or on your opponent's side, but the fact that you have to target your card, so like if you have a powerful monster on the board and your opponent does as well, and you activate this card when, like, say maybe one of your other monsters got destroyed, you have to basically, when you activate this trap, target 2 of your cards, so you get rid of your card and your opponent's card. So I mean, you can do pretty cute plays with it, but honestly, I don't see it's really that worth it, to be completely honest. It's a cool card, but like, nah. But let me go into the second and third effects before I get a little bit ahead. But honestly, I don't think it's really worth searching that, especially since your opponent's going to know that, so maybe they'll play around it by just keep making sure they keep one monster on the field, so that means they have to force you for you to get rid of a card to activate this card, or whatever the case might be. But its second effect. At the start of the damage step, if a Synchro monster is battling another monster, you can destroy your opponent's battling monster. Oh, that's actually not that bad. Okay, so you have to be reliant on a Synchro monster battling, which could be either from you or your opponent, so I think that's pretty fine. you can destroy your opponent's battling monster. Okay, so if you attack one of the attack point monster that has a lower attack, I could see you using this trap card and then being able to basically make sure you get rid of the monster without having to take damage and lose your monster. So that's a pretty cool tech card that you can add in there as well. Again, another cute play you can do. Its third effect is, if this card in the spell and trap card zone would be destroyed by card effect, you can destroy one monster you control instead. Okay, so basically if you want to keep this trap card on the field, you can just pop one of your monsters. I mean, that's a fine effect. If you really do believe that you need this card onto the field, like maybe say your opponent can easily get back into the board with a monster you can't deal with, and you can use this card while you have a synchro monster on the field and you can be able to keep getting rid of that monster, then I could see a reason why you would have an effect on that. It basically sort of gives itself a protection effect, so I don't think that effect is really that bad. Overall, I think the card is fine. The first effect I really don't see you using at all, because I don't think Liberty at Last is going to be really a sought-out card to play. I didn't even know this card existed, to be completely honest. But I mean, it's cool you can search it, but honestly, I feel like if you're going to use this card, you would use its second and third effect. So overall, I think it's an okay card, but I don't know. I don't really see this card being played that much, but cool card design. I actually do like the design of it. I think it looks really cool, but that's going to be it for the 3 new cards for this upcoming set. Just a quick general thoughts on the 3 cards. Speedroid Roulette, I think it's pretty cool being able to get 2 Speedroids from your deck onto the field, or unless you roll 1, then you get 1. So maybe you can potentially go into place. I think it's a pretty solid card, I do believe. Lyra Bird Call, I think it's just a great card. Being able to just set up the way you can do with no restriction is just great. I really think that's a good card. And then Revered Banner of the Revolution, it's a fine card. It's just that, I don't know, I just feel like it's, compared to these 2, I feel like this is 100% the weakest one of the bunch, but I still think it's an alright card, but I don't know, just, again, compared to these 2, I just don't really think it holds up that well. But that's going to be it for these 3 new cards that are going to be in the set, but now it's time to go over the set and just give a final thoughts on the set. So, real quickly, I'm just going to read over the cards to expect in this set real quick, and then just give an overall thoughts on this. So, the cards in this set, you have Clearwing Synchro Dragon, which will come in a holographic rare in this set. Probably in the TCG, it's going to be a collector's rare, so I would just put that to mind, or who knows, maybe a Starlight Rare, who really knows. Speedroid, Party, Horn Kid, and Magic Hound, which I'll kind of just try to abbreviate those so we're not doing it for too long. High Speedroid Cork Blaster, Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon, and High Speedroid Clearing Rider. Then we'll go down the quick list of all the Speedroid monsters. You have Speedroid Roulette and Duplicate, as well as the reprint monsters Terratop, Double Yo-Yo, Taki Tomboard, Red Eye Dice, Den Den Daiko Duke, and Horse Stilts, and Marble Machine, Card Trooper, and then the 2 high Speedroid monsters, Chanbara and Kite Drake, as well as Speed Recovery, Speed Lift, and then going into Sherry's cards, we got Stage Defleur, White Steed of the Floral Knights, Necrosynchron, I wanted to make sure I said that right, Baroness Defleur, Fleurette Defleur, Synchro Dilemma, Revered Banner of the Revolution, Syrah Defleur, Necrofleur, Noble Knights Joan, I believe that's how you say that, Fleur Synchron, Chevalier Defleur, Zone, actually Zone is in this set, which is pretty interesting, Liberty at Last, which I expected if this card is going to be able to search this card, it would obviously be in the set. And quick rundown of all the Lyra list monsters, you have Barrel Canary, Celeste Wagtail, Ascend Blue Ramen, Prom Thrush, Bird Call, Bird Sanctuary, Birds of a Feather, Cobalt Sparrow, Sapphire Swallow, Turquoise Warbler. I'm actually surprised that was in this, because if you guys remember the Lyra Lust video I did, it didn't mention this card. It mentioned Cobalt Sparrow and Cobalt Sparrow and Sapphire Swallow, but not Turquoise Warbler. And then Independent Nightgale's not in here. You have Assembled Nightingale and Reticle's Starling, which are the 2 other Xyz monsters, along with Assembled Ramen and Prom Thrush. But I'm surprised that this card was in it. It didn't seem like it, but that leaves only Independent Nightingale out of this set, which I'm not very surprised. But hey, you know what? If you never got Lyra Cards when it was originally released, now you can get it in this set. And the only card you wouldn't get is Independent Nightingale, which, for the way they want you to play Lyra with the cards that we got, I feel like they're going to go more towards the Xyz route, and you're not going to really worry about summoning Independent Nightingale. But that is all the cards that are going to be in this set. General thoughts in the set as a whole. I think this is actually a pretty solid set. All of the support that we got into it, I think, are just individually cool or like good cards, whether or not one of the archetypes got a particular card that's just good for either the archetype or just a good card in general. Like for Lyra, you have Assemble Robin. For I guess Sacred Knights is what they're called, you got Baroness de Fleur. And then for Speedroids, you got Cork Blaster. I would say that's probably the strongest card. Or even Crystal Clearwing. I can say it because of the fact that that card is so easy to summon with the possibilities that you have with Cork Blaster and just other cards in general for the Speedroid archetype. I feel like this actually makes it a pretty solid card now. Well, to be fair, it was a solid card regardless. It was just a little bit harder to summon because it had a little bit more of a restriction in summoning. But I still think it's a good card. And then again, Cork Blaster is just insane. You have Bird Call, which is a good card for the Lyra as well, to get your Lyra onto the field and maybe potentially into your hand or graveyard for even further plays. And again, Baroness is just a great generic synchro monster. I think that's going to be very splashable in a lot of decks. I do really believe that. And maybe even Lyra Assemble Ramen, since it's generic as well. But, I don't know, you're going to have to play level 1 monsters in order to do it, which I guess there is ways you can play level 1 monsters, but I don't know, I feel like they're not going to really do it as well as Lyra. But who knows, that maybe this will incorporate some more strategies of combining Lyra with other decks. You know, we saw it Tri Brigade, Lyra or Bird Up. So maybe this will support them a little bit more because that deck has kind of settled down a little bit. More people have been going more towards Tri Brigade nowadays. So maybe this will spark the energy for Bird Up again. And then again, Baroness going into really any deck is going to be good. And maybe you can build a solid Sacred Knights deck with these cards. And helping the Speedroids out as well, helping them get a pretty good support and maybe boost up that deck a little bit, I think is actually very possible with this. So overall, I think this is a pretty solid set, and I am very excited for these cards to come out in the TCG. I believe they come in, I think they said July, but I could be wrong. It might be, no, it's not, no, there's no way it's in June. By the time you're recording this, it's either going to be out in the OCG today or it's going to be already out. I don't know when I'm going to... Who knows? Actually, at the time I'm recording this, it's literally the day before that set is actually released. So maybe by the time this video comes out, the set hasn't been released yet, or it might be a release. Who really knows? But I'm just very excited when it comes to the TCG. I'm definitely going to get my hands on the 3 main bosses of the set. I think they're going to be really cool, and maybe see what I can get from this set. I'm very excited for this set in general, and I do think you guys should get this set if you're interested in building Speedroids or Lyra or Sacred Knights. But hey, if you don't want to build that specifically, maybe try to get one of the chase cards for this set, like Baroness or Lyra Assemble Robin, just to maybe try to find a deck that you guys can splash together, whether it's their archetype or not. Maybe you can find a way to get those cards and splash into their deck. Who really knows? But that is going to be my general thoughts on this upcoming Duelist pack, Duelist of Whirlwind, or in the TCG Legendary Duelist pack, Synchro Storm. But guys, that's going to be it for this discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of this set. Do you think this set is good? Do you think the set's alright? Or do you think the set is actually pretty bad? And out of the 3 archetypes that are going to be in the set, Speedroid, Sacred Knights, and Lyra, which one is your favorite and you're more excited for? And you don't have to do the archetype if you don't want to that you pick. Let me know what one card, only one card, out of all of the cards that are going to be on this list, what card are you going to go for the most out of any of these cards? Would really like to know your guys' thoughts. For me, it's probably gonna have to go the Crystal Clear Ring Rider. I don't know why, I just love it. It's the fact that it's literally Crystal or Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Excuse me, it's the original Clear Wing Synchro Dragon fused with Yugioh's D-Wheel. I just think that's so cool. I really do want that card, and even like Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon to be fair, but. That would probably be my card for this upcoming set. And my favorite like archetype is going to be Lyra. I love the Lyra archetype. I think they just look so cool. And I'm very excited to see what these decks are going to do for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether it's casual or whether it is meta. But guys, that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a great rest of your day.